Hey friends, welcome back to Trend DIY 29. I'm back with another video. I wanted to do something a little different, guys. As you know, every season I try to do a seed haul video, and I wanted to do something a little bit more interactive to show you guys exactly more than just a seed pack, to actually show you it on the website, and you can actually see what I see when I shop. So I wanted to go over it with you guys. As you can see, I'm on Baker Creek, aka rareseeds.com. And I'm just going to go over to my order, which I already ordered. I just put it back into the cart. So it'll make it easier for me to show you guys. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love, if you go back to some of my first garden videos, were these Kalima beans. Now, these Kalima beans are a game changer. All the beans grow on the top of the plant, so you can easily pick. There's not a lot of digging through, greenery to find them. They grow very, very easily. They grow good close together, and they're a bush type variety. 50 to 55 days. Did phenomenal. Okay, so if you're having issues with growing enough beans, I know a lot of people say, I can't grow enough beans to make a real meal. Grow Kalima beans. You'll have enough, I promise. I don't want to keep going back to that. The tried and true, as everybody knows, the dragon tongue bush beans. I don't think I have to really say much, but they were sold out last year. So I've not had these beans in my garden in maybe 2 years or so, because they always sell out early in the season. So I finally got my hands on them, and now I'm thinking about it. I probably should have got more than one pack. But yes, they look that beautiful. Yes, they are that chunky. And they cook so well. But yes, the coloring and the stripiness goes away when you cook them. Very, very versatile beans. 60 days to maturity, full sun. I love that bean. Like, seriously. My favorite carrot, guys. Now, carrots are a little tricky. You have to basically babysit the carrot, keep the carrot moist at all time. You can do it with wet cardboard or with a board. Only thing is, if you forget to pull that board up and they start to push through the surface, they can die. So it's just a big timing and moisture thing when it comes to growing carrots. The Uzbek Golden, some of the most flavorful carrots I've ever grown. They're kind of stubby, but they're big enough. Very sweet, good for juicing, from Uzbekistan. And there's some dish, I think some type of pilaf dish that they make, that's very popular in Uzbekistan that I want to try to make, but I've never grown enough of these. The Chinese jade cucumber. Now, I believe I brought 2 packs of seeds of these, but the amazing thing about these are, for one, it's like 2 to 3 cucumbers in one, just by the length. But these are burpless. So they're burpless, they're seedless, and they don't need pollinators. So you could grow these cucumbers under some lights in your house. You can grow these cucumbers in a greenhouse. You don't have to worry about a pollinator, because I know for some people who live up high, I live on the 3rd floor right now. So all my plants are somewhat high, but not that high. Bees will travel way higher than most people would think. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But if you're somebody that lives like on the 12th floor or something, you might be scared that you're not going to get enough pollinators up there. Grow these. They will guarantee grow. You don't need the pollinator. Very excited for this eggplant. I did not buy that many eggplant varieties this year, just because I already have my favorites. The Chinese long eggplant, that's my favorite. The Japanese eggplant, very similar to Chinese long eggplant. Those are my favorite. They grow fast. You get a lot of them. If it's not broke, don't fix it type of thing. But they take a while to get started. But when they start, boy, do they produce. But the jewel marble, I've always wanted to grow a smaller one that so I can actually be eating eggplant while I'm waiting on the bigger ones to uh, come to fruition and ripeness. But I'm really excited about these. My only concern is it going to be just like a big pot of seeds and not be good? That's the only thing I'm scared of. But a lot of people say they eat them whole or you can use them to make baba ganoush. I'm just going to play around with them. That's the beauty of having your own garden, guys. You don't have to follow a recipe. You just play around. And I have, as you guys can see, they give you free seed varieties. This pepper, it was just the way that it looked. I'm sorry. Sometimes I buy stuff just because I'm curious to watch it grow. It reminds me of the corbachi, but just way, way more skinnier. And the corbachi is one of the, eye-catching things in my garden because it's all spirally and fun. But that's a sweet pepper. So I wanted to do something fun and spirally that's a hot pepper. And I'm really thinking about pickling these. It's a slender serpentine. It's a chili. It's about 30,000 on the Scoville scale, so it's not super hot. A lot of people, they're saying use it dried and they use it fresh, or they use they steep it in oil and make like a chili oil. So that might be fun to make my own chili oil or chili crisp from it. Golden Jenny, guys. If you've never grown a melon, if you're dealing with a small space, if you have to grow in a container or a raised bed, I would highly, highly recommend the Golden Jenny. I don't know why that picture's not coming up. Oh, it's telling me a story. But the melon is definitely that beautiful. Very, very fragrant. I'm telling you guys, like, just when it's almost ripe, you will just smell it. Like, you'll really, really smell it. Super, super decadent. But I did not get a lot of them. And I had some that were more on the smaller side, closer to the greenish one on the right, was more of the size that I got. But it all comes down to sunlight. Mine had light, but could have used a little bit more. But I gave the most sunny spot to my tomatoes and my peppers. Sometimes when it comes to gardening, you have to share sunlight, and sometimes you have to just get your priorities. My biggest priorities was my pepper harvest. I wasn't trying to grow a billion cantaloupes. I just wanted to grow maybe one or two. I got my one or two and I moved on with my life. And guys, let me know if you like this type of thing with you guys online with me. I feel like I could make a lot of videos with this type of setting because I don't have to get my background and everything set up for camera. Now, this, guys, I am so excited about. I've only grown 2 different fruits. I grew a sugar baby watermelon before. I grew the Golden Jenny melon. And last year, I believe I did grow something else, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was the something midget melon, but it ripened, and then I went on vacation, came back, and it died. So I didn't even get to eat it. It was rotted, and insects got into it. So, guys, sometimes picking earlier is better than picking too late. But just make sure that you do your research because all vegetables and fruit do not necessarily continue to ripen off the vine. So make sure that whatever you're picking early can continue to ripen off the vine. But these are the Oliver's Pearl Cluster. Now, what I liked about these is that they kept saying they're like softball size. So I'm expecting to get a lot more so that I can eat them throughout the season fresh. The bigger the melon, the longer it takes. So normally you're going to get the majority of your harvest at one time. And what are you going to do with 15 melons unless you're going to take them to market or give them away? But I wanted to just see how many of these I can get. As you can see, the one she's holding in her hand seems a lot smaller than the one that he's holding. So I'm very curious to know. And I'm curious to know, is this actually going to be tasty? Because I tend to really not care for a honeydew melon. And these seem like they're going to be honeydew-like. But the one thing I've learned when growing your own fruits and vegetables is that most stuff that you hate in a grocery store, when you grow it yourself, you'll actually like it because you're going to pick it at the right time. I basically grew these for shits and giggles. I grew the orange hat tomato before. You don't get that many tomatoes. They're just cute to tuck in here and there. But the Tom Thumb, basically the same concept of a determinate type thing. Not really determinate, the same concept of a dwarf variety, but these tend to be like super, super dwarf. As you know, we'll have like dwarf varieties of tomatoes and they'll still get like 3 feet. But no, these tend to get like maybe 1 foot, 18 inches. I've seen them get bigger, but I've never grew the peas before. So I'm curious to know how they're going to grow and just how many peas I'm actually going to get. But this is probably going to be more for novelty reasons and snacking in the garden. Sage. I've been trying to find the white sage to make my own sage bundles. It's always sold out and it takes a while to grow. So I found this nodding sage, which I've never heard of, but look how beautiful it is. It's like a droopy hanging sage. Look how wispy and beautiful it is, which I feel like would look really, really good in bouquets. I feel like that it would dry, and I want to do some research to see if this would work in like cocktails or soap making or oil making. But they're saying that it's an heirloom perennial from Europe. 2 to 3 feet tall. It's not that tall, which I like. It has tubular flowers. And they said that it attracts bees all year long. And when you're living on an elevated place, like for instance, me living on the 3rd floor and other people that live in apartments or that may live in condos or something like that, you want to make sure that you have enough things to bring in your pollinators. So I'm hoping to get some of that today, this season. Of course, my tried and true corbachis. If you want a fun sweet pepper and you just want something that you can guarantee is going to grow every year and it's going to be the first to pop up and you know it's going to be there, grow yourself corbachi. If you've ever been struggling with growing peppers, yes, you will have that many like in this picture. Grow the corbachi peppers. You can pick them through all of the different stages. I love to pick them when they're like part orange, part red. Very, very good peppers. Very good for pickling. Very good for relishes. You can juice them. Yeah, they're smaller, but you do tend to get a lot of these. And these will definitely be your first peppers in your garden. One of my tried and true favorites. Now, my second most favorite pepper, sweet pepper, is definitely going to be the Lesia. It is by far the sweetest pepper that I've ever grown. I've never found a pepper sweeter than this. If you let it get all the way red, it'll be so sweet. It's almost like candy. Like you would think that it was coated in sugar. And the walls of this pepper, as you guys can see, are very, very thick walled. So they hold up good, like in stir fries and stuff like that. They don't cook down very easily. So, like I said, it's very, very sweet, thick walled. It says it's a perennial in frost-free zones. Not in Maryland zone AB because I live like in between zones. AB. So just prepare to move it inside or prepare to get rid of it altogether and regrow it every year. But this year, guys, look at this baby. They have an orange Lesia. I am so excited about this. I'm expecting great things. I don't want this video to get too long. But as you guys can see, I got some shishitos. Everybody knows about shishitos. If you ever go to a Japanese restaurant, they're served just like kind of sort of like how it is in this picture, blistered a lot of times with soy sauce, some sesame seeds. But these are very, very good. Eaten fresh, eaten sauteed. They're not too hot. This, the tomato, I think it's called Grappoli d'Inverno. I'm not Italian, guys, sorry. I'm looking forward to this tomato the most because in Italy, they actually hang these in their kitchen and use them year round or throughout the colder months or uh, season, they will use them fresh off the vine, hanging in their kitchen. And they say that the skin of these tomatoes are thick and that these tomatoes really last. So you should be able to eat fresh tomatoes throughout the year. I'm so curious to know if this is going to work. So if these last throughout the winter seasons and I can be, using fresh tomatoes and salads and stuff like that, and I don't have to freeze them or juice them or dehydrate them, that is going to be definitely a game changer. Berry Crazy Cherry Tomato. This will be the third try I've given this baby. I've never gotten a lot of these, but I've never really given it prime real estate in my garden either. But I'm looking for the massive clusters, and I've never really been blown away by the flavor either. But I'm going to give berry another chance. And then moving on to more of the tomatoes. Dr. Witchy's yellow, kind of self-explanatory, very, very large yellow tomato. Grows very wonderful. I swear by it. I wanted to try Kellogg's breakfast, very, very similar to to Dr. Witchy's. Besides, I heard that it can be a tad bit smaller. And to me, it looks a little more orange than yellow. Very, very curious to know the difference of those two. That's the main reason why I'm growing it. But I'm not sure I'm going to necessarily have this space because those tomatoes can get massive. The Korean long. I wanted to try this. I've grown Amish paste tomatoes before. They're okay. I've grown plum tomatoes before. They're okay. But I tend not to get the amount of quantity and the size that I'm looking for. And these are supposed to be bigger, more meaty. And this is supposed to be more of a pink tomato. And I'm hoping to get somewhat of a pink brandywine type of flavor from them. Because pink brandywines taste good, but they no longer have a space in my garden because I have limited space and they tend to get sick and you don't get a lot of tomatoes. But the Korean long. It looks very similar to the Jersey Devil tomato that was released not that long ago. And I brought up a pack of seeds about a year or two ago from those. So I'm going to try to grow those as well, the Jersey Devil. And Purple Rain, if you guys go back, last but not least. Purple Rain is a tried and true recommended tomato. I would tell anybody who is dealing with small spaces that's trying to just do something in a pot. They want something that's determinate. They want to try to get the majority of their tomatoes all at once. The Purple Rain, as you guys can see, looks very similar to a Cherokee Purple. They share very similar flavor profiles. Only difference is this baby does not get real big. Because I know a lot of determinate tomatoes lie. And they'll say, oh, determinate. And the next thing you know, it's 6.5 feet tall. And you're like, what the hell? Like, I thought it was supposed to be 3 to 4. So I get it. But this one, at least when I grew it, it didn't get no more than 3.5, tops maybe 4. And that's if you have it in like the area of your garden that gets some of the best conditions for tomatoes. It may get bigger. But very, very tasty tomato. And I'm also thinking about looking into seeing, because I love pickled green tomatoes, whether or not this will be a good tomato for green tomatoes. So the Purple Rain tomato, and you guys can see it's tiny, compact, 6 to 12 ounce fruit. I would say my fruit that I got off of this was on the smaller side. I really didn't have that many 12-ounce fruit, more like maybe 6 to 8 ounce fruits for me. But like I said, it did not have prime real estate. I give the prime real estate to the tomatoes and to the vegetables who have proven themselves to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, my seed haul of 2026. There may be more seed hauls to come. Make sure that you like, you share, and you subscribe. And definitely leave me a comment in the comment section. Thanks.